Hey everyone, this is Matthew. It's been a little while since I published a video because this month has proven to be very busy for me, which is great in some ways, but I wanted to get some content out for you guys. And there's more on the way. Right now, I just want to share something on my heart that I think is really important. And this video is also unscripted, so Matthew Tingblood in the raw. I'm probably going to be a lot of cuts in this. The concern I want to mention actually was something I first noticed from the philosopher Greg Gansel. He says it is the idea that people who make truth claims have self-serving reasons for making them. If truth claims cannot match reality, there must be other reasons at work. These reasons are not straightforward. Rather than evaluating a person's claim, we aim to uncover their actual motives. Our posture, then, is one of suspicion. Rather than listening to one another, we aim to reveal one another. We see this practice in journalism and the many heated discussions that erupt on social media. And so long story short is people are dismissing an argument based on the person rather than dismissing it based on the argument itself, which is a textbook example of the logical fallacy known as the ad hominem, which is to attack the person rather than to attack the argument itself. And my big concern is oftentimes we will try and draw up these theories of why this or that truth claim is believed as a way to consciously or unconsciously remove ourselves from dealing from the actual issue at hand. So for example, if you have a New Testament scholar giving an early date for the book of Matthew, saying that it was actually written by the person Matthew, a disciple of Jesus, well, you might have some people object and say, well, this New Testament scholar, he's employed by a evangelical school. He grew up in this atmosphere. He gets his paycheck to tell what the school wants him to tell, et cetera, rather than saying, okay, let's look at this person's evidence. We have to be so careful not to get swept up in this cultural movement to just cast suspicion. And you'll even have folks who, for instance, like Bart Ehrman, he argues for the existence of Jesus, as most scholars would who study the New Testament. But then you get Jesus mythicists who will sometimes dismiss Bart Ehrman just overhand and try and psychoanalyze him. Well, he was a former Christian, this sort of stuff. Essentially, what we're doing is we're creating an explanation for why so-and-so is wrong, rather than dealing with whether or not so-and-so person is wrong. And this comes from Christians too, right? I mean, you hear Christians maybe dismissing an atheist because, well, the person just doesn't want to believe that there's a king over his or her life. Maybe. The thing is, these arguments we come up with may or may not actually be true, but it still doesn't address the issue itself. Somebody could have bad motives and still be right about something. Or there's a fear that if somebody is in power, then they're necessarily wrong. People might argue that the reason the book of Enoch was rejected from Christian scriptures is because something with maybe the Roman Catholic Church. And the point they're making is that this church was in power, this was all political. I wouldn't deny that there were some evil things taking place in church history. There were political agendas. There were grabs for power, sure. But that doesn't mean something is necessarily wrong. It might be that a person with bad motives was still conveying something that was true. So we have to go back to the real question, is this true or is it not true? So be careful with that. Guys, I hope that was helpful and encouragement for you even. And I want this to be a corrective, not just for those outside the church, but also within the church, because I see it everywhere. Hope you're doing well, and I'll see you in the next video.